Every year, the town of Valen held the Festival of Lanterns, a night when the sky filled with floating lights and people whispered their wishes to the stars. For most, it was a night of celebration. For Ion, it was a reminder of everything he had lost. He stood at the edge of the festival grounds, like hands in his pockets, watching the crowd. Music echoed through the warm evening air. Children laughed as they chased glowing lanterns. Couples held hands and wrote wishes together. Ion felt like a stranger in a world that had moved on without him. He had come only because his younger sister insisted. One night won't hurt, she had said. But the truth was that Ion hadn't smiled in a long time, not since the accident that took his best friend, leaving him with memories he had tried too hard to bury. Lost in thought, he almost didn't notice when a lantern rolled to his feet. Sorry! Sorry, that's mine! A voice cried. Ion looked up. A girl hurried toward him, her hands dusted with powder from the lantern. Her cheeks were flushed, her hair slightly messy from the wind, and her eyes sparkled like warm honey under the lantern lights. She stopped, breathless. Could you pass it to me? Ion picked up the lantern. Here you go. Thanks. She took it, then paused, studying him. You look like you don't want to be here. Ion raised an eyebrow. Is it that obvious? She laughed, a soft, melodic sound. I can always tell when someone wants to escape a festival. It's a rare skill. He couldn't help it. The corner of his mouth twitched. And you look like you're enjoying it too much. Oh, absolutely, she said proudly. I love festivals, the lights, the music, the chaos, everything. Before she could walk away, a sudden gust of wind tore through the field. Lanterns toppled, decorations swayed, and people gasped as clouds rolled across the sky. Thunder rumbled. Rain? Ion muttered. Tonight of all nights? Come with me, the girl shouted above the wind. She grabbed his hand, warm, small, certain, and pulled him toward a stone path behind the festival. They ran as the first drops began to fall. Ion didn't know where she was taking him, but something about her energy made him follow. They reached an old temple tucked between two large banyan trees. Its roof was cracked, its walls covered in faded carvings, but it still stood strong. They rushed inside just as heavy rain poured down. The temple was quiet, dim, and cool. Raindrops drummed loudly against the old roof. The girl stretched her arms. Perfect, I love rain. Ion stared at her. You love festivals and rain? Anything you don't like? She grinned. People who don't smile. He looked away. Then you're standing with the wrong person. She stepped closer, her voice softer now. Maybe not. There was something strange about her. Familiar, comforting, as if she carried light inside her ribs. She placed her lantern on the floor and sat beside it. Ion joined her, though he still wasn't sure why. I'm Mira, she said, holding out her hand. Ion. Ion, she repeated slowly, as if tasting the name. Nice. Strong. He shrugged. Maybe. She noticed the flicker in his eyes, the heaviness he tried to hide. You're carrying something. Pain, maybe? Ion stiffened. You analyze people a lot, don't you? Not everyone, Mira said softly, just the ones who look like they're hurting. The rain echoed around them. Ion stared at the lantern's warm glow. The silence between them felt safe. My best friend, he finally said, voice barely above a whisper. We used to come here together. He died last year. Since then, everything feels different. I don't enjoy festivals anymore. I don't enjoy much of anything. Mira didn't say sorry like everyone else did. Instead, she leaned closer. You loved him a lot. Ion nodded. He was like a brother. She touched his shoulder gently. Pain doesn't mean you stop living, Ion. It just means you're human. He let out a shaky breath. You make it sound so simple. That's because you've been trying to carry everything alone. Thunder rolled outside. The warm lantern light flickered across Mira's face. She looked calm, sincere, almost magical in the dim glow. Ion found himself asking, And you, what's your story? Mira looked down at her hands. For the first time, he saw a shadow cross her features. I had someone too, she said. Someone I loved more than anything. But he moved on. I thought I'd be heartbroken forever. I stopped going to festivals too, until I decided I wouldn't let my heart stay stuck. Ion listened, surprised. So you healed? Not fully, Mira admitted. But I'm trying. Tonight feels like a new start. Their eyes met, soft, uncertain, but slowly opening. The rain finally eased. The storm faded into silence. Mira stood and picked up her lantern. Come on, she said. The festival isn't over yet. They walked back to the field. Clouds parted, revealing a sky full of stars. People returned, relighting lanterns. The air felt fresh, washed clean. Mira held out her lantern. Make a wish. Ion hesitated. I don't know what to wish for. She stepped closer. Then wish for something small, something possible. He looked at her, the girl who ran through storms, who smiled in the dark, who pulled him out of his grief without even trying. Ion whispered, Okay. They lit the lantern together. Warm light filled their faces. Mira counted softly. 1, 2, 3. They released it. The lantern rose slowly, weightless, climbing higher and higher until it joined thousands of others glowing like stars. Mira whispered, What did you wish? Ion smiled, a real, genuine smile, for a reason to come to next year's festival. She blinked. Oh, maybe, he said, eyes holding hers, someone to meet here again. Her cheeks flushed warmly. She stepped closer until their shoulders touched. Well, she whispered, smiling shyly, I think your wish might come true. The sky above them shimmered with thousands of lanterns. The night hummed with music, laughter, and the soft beginning of something new. Ion looked at Mira. Mira looked back, and under the lantern sky, two broken hearts quietly began to heal together.